Americans and Latinos actually made income gains. Those income gains were very widely distributed. And I think this is the reason why, as a number of other people have referred to, the movements of that period weren't really necessarily concerned with, say, people's self-interest here in North America. They were very concerned with international solidarity, whether or not it was the Zapatistas or acting in solidarity with the victims of structural adjustment programs and such in the global South. And this is why the targets were the IMF, the WTO, and the World Bank. Institutions that were not operating here on North American soil, but operating to basically destroy the lives of others elsewhere. I don't think I need to tell you. I mean, we're living in the midst of the biggest economic crisis of capitalism since the Great Depression. I'm sure many of you have seen the CBO report that came out last week that studied income gains since the beginning of the neoliberal period in 1979 or thereabouts. It really is about the top 1% against everybody else. Their share of the income in this country went up by, 275%. Whereas the income shares for most of the other parts of the population barely rose. They were very stagnant. So yeah, people are aware of the deprivation. It's very widespread. It's affecting them personally. And people, I think in greater numbers, are coming to the awareness that we're in the midst of a massive crisis of capitalism. And that wasn't the case in the late 90s when things were actually quite good for a lot of people. And you may remember the rather annoyingly effervescent and optimistic popular culture of that period. I remember it with great dread. It was not a good time, I think, in that respect. I was in high school. I was a little older than you guys. And that brings me, I think, to the question which I think has strangely kind of been sidestepped so far, and that's the question of whether or not this is an anti-capitalist movement. And it's interesting to me that it has been sort of sidestepped, and maybe we can come back to that when we kind of broaden this discussion a little bit. Here, I do disagree with you, actually, Lisa. I would argue that, yes, the movement is anti-capitalist, but it doesn't know it yet. Or at least that's how I feel about it today.